Hi guys, it's Katie, and today I'm going to do another food prep video. I have my meal plan and my little task list, so let's go over those first. Okay, so here's my meal plan. I sort of broke it down by task here. So Monday is tonight. We're going to have Scotch eggs and toast. So it's kind of breakfast for dinner. Scotch eggs is hard-boiled eggs that are wrapped in sausage meat, and then they're rolled in breadcrumbs, and they're usually deep fried, but I'm going to bake mine. So I need to make some breadcrumbs, I need to boil some eggs, and I want to assemble the Scotch eggs. If I don't get to that now, I'll do it closer to dinner time, but it would be really nice to have them ready to just throw in the oven when it gets closer to dinner time. And then Tuesday is burrito bowl, so I want to make a big thing of barbacoa and portion it out. So I'll have some for tomorrow, and then I'll have some for the freezer, which will make burrito bowls a lot quicker in the future. I can also use it for burritos and other things. And then since it is tomorrow, I'm going to go ahead and chop up the vegetables. I also want to make cashew cream, so I'm going to soak some cashews and I'm going to soak some white rice, but I'm going to do that tomorrow for tomorrow's dinner. Wednesday is kimchi jjigae. I'm going to make some stock. There's like an anchovy kelp stock that you need to make, and once that's made, then basically you just throw all the ingredients together. So kimchi and then that stock and some meat, and then you cook it up and you add some tofu and dinner's done. So I'm going to cut up some of the chuck roast. I'm actually using a chuck roast here for the barbacoa, so I'm just going to kind of steal some from that chuck roast before I turn it into barbacoa. So that will be all ready to go, and then I'll probably soak some rice on this day, since that will be white rice too. I don't really need to soak it for more than, a couple hours. So I will do that on Wednesday. Thursday is this brinjal is eggplant curry. This is a meatless meal. It's just basically just eggplant with a spicy kind of coconut milk sauce on it. So I wouldn't cut up the eggplant that far ahead. I think that's a little bit too far ahead, but I do want to serve it with brown rice, so I'm going to soak and hopefully sprout the brown rice before Thursday. Friday is going to be chicken and sweet potato casserole. I got some chicken that's already cut up, but I want to cut it up more into bite-sized pieces, and Friday's a little bit far for me to leave fresh chicken in the refrigerator, so I'm going to cut it up, pack it up, and just freeze it, and then Thursday night I'll go ahead and take it out and use it on Friday. Saturday we're going to make burgers and baked beans, so I want to make the burger buns ahead, and I can have those in the freezer to pull out, and then I will let them rise and bake on Saturday. I also want to soak some white beans, hopefully sprout those, and make some baked beans. So I'll probably soak the beans. They'll probably start to sprout by like Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Then I might go ahead and make up the baked beans, since they're going to be from scratch. They'll take a little bit of work. So maybe I'll make them up, or like combine all the sauce, all the ingredients like brown sugar and jalapenos and ketchup and all that sort of stuff, and have that all ready to go. And then maybe on Saturday I'll throw it in the slow cooker. That might be good. And then Sunday, I need to get a longer piece of paper to make my lists, but anyway, Sunday, roast chicken and stuffing. I want to cut up some stuffing cubes so that they can dry out. Okay, the only other things I want to do is I got some fruit to wash, so some cherries that I'm going to wash ahead, and then I want to cut up some celery and carrots, so I have something quick and easy to pull out for snacks for my little one. I do have a big pack of celery that I got at Costco, so it'll be easy to grab that. She loves those sort of things as snacks, so that will be really great. So that's everything I hope to get accomplished. It's kind of a tall order, so let's get going. Alright, so I'm going to hard boil my eggs in the pressure cooker. I've showed this before, and I can link down below where I originally saw this idea. It's on a pressure cooking website, but it really makes the best hard boiled eggs. Makes them super easy to peel, and even though I bought these eggs today, I have no doubt that they will peel perfectly fine. So I'm going to do, I guess, 6. Let me boil a couple more just in case something happens, and then with any extra eggs I can just have them as a snack for my little one or have them for breakfast or something. Just pour a little bit of water in. You don't need a lot of water, and then you put it on high, and once it comes up to pressure, it's just 6 minutes, and then you do a quick release. Okay, next I'm going to make some breadcrumbs. I have some bread here. I need to make sure I save some for our dinner tonight, so we can have some toast. And I also wanted to make bread cubes, but I might need to make a second loaf of bread, so let's see. I don't need that much breadcrumbs, I don't think, for this meal, so I'm just going to do, I'll do one slice, and then I'll do the heel. Hopefully that will be enough. Okay, so just spread these out, and I might put these in the oven with it on really low just to kind of pull out some of that moisture so these be nice and crispy for dinner tonight. Alright, so brown rice for Thursday night. This is really easy. Just gonna put it in a container, fill it up with water. Right, and then I'll put that back here. Alright, my eggs are done. 6 minutes for the eggs. So I'm going to turn the heat off. I'm going to take them off the heat, and I'm going to do the quick release. Alright, I'm going to just get these into an ice bath. Alright, so while these are chilling down a little bit, I'll just put them over here. I'll go ahead and wash these cherries. This is pretty much all that I need to wash fruit-wise. So just go ahead and do them now, that way they're ready to go. So hopefully I can fit them in this container. And cherries are going to stain, so I usually put a cloth napkin in to catch any extra moisture. But I don't want to stain my cloth napkins. I'm going to use a dishcloth because I don't care if they get stained. So I'm just going to put some in here. Woo! Too many. There were a few that were a little bit soft, so I've just pulled those out. But that's alright. Honestly, I'm probably going to snack on these a little bit as I do some more food prep, so I'm just going to leave it like that, and then as I snack it down, I will put the lid on. Okay, so next I'm going to make the barbacoa sauce, and these are New Mexico chilies. I think last time I used I'm not sure which ones I used last time. The recipe doesn't call for dry chilies, but I just love the flavor, so just open them up and take out the seeds, and then attempt to toast them in the toaster oven without burning them. So there are my chilies. Let's go over to the toaster oven and see if I can toast these without burning down the house. Alright, so I have my chilies that I toasted in the toaster oven. I'm just going to break them up. And put some boiling water in here. Let that soak for a little bit, and we'll go into the oven and see how the breadcrumbs are doing. They're getting dry, whoops, around the edge. So I just kind of putting the moisture breadcrumbs to the outside, and there, something like that. Go ahead and get everything else ready for the chipotle sauce, or the barbacoa sauce. And this is the same container, I just rinsed it out. It's a dry container, but hopefully it works. So that's cumin, some chipotle and adobo, so I'll put it all in. Apple cider vinegar, some garlic, and oregano. And lime juice. Go ahead and put my chilies in. And I'll go take this over to the blender and blend it up too. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and strain this. And I forgot to add salt, so I'll have to add salt too. Okay, so I have my sauce drained, and this is my chuck roast, and there's a big piece of fat here that I'm gonna remove. And what I'm gonna do with this piece of fat or connective tissue, whatever this is next time I make bone broth, I'm gonna throw it in with the bone broth, because it'll give extra flavor to the bone broth, and then the extra fat that rises to the surface of the bone broth, I usually skim that off and use that. So if there's any fat in here, it will render sort of that way. And the rest of this I'm just going to cut into sort of large chunks. Oh, there's some bone in here too. Alright, so I have 3 piles of meat. This here, these little bite-sized pieces, are what I'm going to put in the kimchi jjigae. You just need a little bit because there's also tofu in that. This here is that connective tissue and also the bones. I'm going to put that in here. I'm going to put that in the freezer, and I'm going to throw that in with bone broth. I'll probably do bone broth next week. And then these big chunks here, I'm going to put in my pressure cooker. Put that on the stove. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and salt and pepper the meat since I forgot to put the salt and pepper in the sauce. And I'm going to try to brown this, and then I'll put the sauce in. Alright, so once this is browned, pretty brown, I'll go ahead and throw in the sauce and a little bit of water. Just like half a cup of water. Scrape up any bits off the bottom, and then just kind of arrange this so it's all as low as possible. You can see, so that it's down underneath the sauce as much as possible. And then I'm going to close it up and put it on high, so 18 pounds of pressure, and bring it up to pressure, and then I'll back it down and let it cook for probably about 45 minutes. I don't need it right away, so I might as well let it cook nice and long. Alright, next I'm going to cut up my chicken. So this is actually enough chicken for 2 meals, so I will cut it up. So usually, if I'm going to cut up chicken breast, I usually cut it up smaller than this. Cut it in like bite size. So I can always use this for soup or a stir fry or something. So I have 2 containers here. So I'll just put half in each container. And they're both going to go in the freezer. I'll use one this week and the other one I'll use another time. Alright, so I'll put lids on each of these, and I'll label them and put them in the freezer. I'm going to also soak some beans, so I'm going to do some white beans for the baked beans. These are navy beans. About a cup of white beans, and then I'll do about a cup of black beans for the burrito bowls. I'm back. I got interrupted yesterday afternoon, so I'm going to finish up today. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drain and rinse all the things that I was soaking. So I'll just start with the black beans. White beans. The rice. Alright, so I have my brown rice. I have it drained So it's going to start sprouting. I have my white beans, which are drained, and they're going to start sprouting. My black beans, which are drained, are going to start sprouting. I just went ahead and soaked my white rice for tonight and my cashews. So I got a bunch of experiments going here. I like to use mason jars like this because it means that I can kind of do multiple things at once, since it does take a few days for some of these things. Alright, so I'm going to just go ahead and cover these, just so nothing gets in them while they sprout. So this is just a cloth napkin, so it's breathable, but it keeps out any dust and random fuzz balls or anything like that, since they're going to be sitting on the counter for a couple days. Alright. Now I got some produce to wash, so I should have done that first thing yesterday, but I'll do it next. So the cilantro I will wash and spin and pack it up a lot like I do my lettuce. Alright, I have some green onions, and I'm really bad about green onions. A lot of times I just throw them straight in the fridge, but I did get a tip from a comment about putting them in water, and I'd heard of that, and I probably have done it in the past. I just don't do it regularly, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, because I got two really nice bunches of green onions, so I'm just going to give them a rinsey, scrubby poo here, and I'm just going to put them in this glass. Oh. That. Maybe I should put them in a taller glass. I'm going to try a taller glass so they don't flop all over the place in the refrigerator. That probably will work better. Just put a little bit of cool water just down at the roots, and these are going to go in the fridge like this. I'm going to wrap up the tops just so they don't get dried out and so they don't get all banged up. So maybe I can pull them up a little bit and then tuck that up down like that. Let's try it like that this week and we'll see how it goes. Alright, let's put this in the fridge. Alright, last up is some celery. I'm just going to clean up for my little one to have snacks. I was going to do carrots too, but I only have a few, so I'm going to hold on to those in case I need them for something else. Celery will be fine. She likes celery. So I'll put this in the fridge. I have my hamburger buns all here ready to go in the freezer, and I have a whole video showing how to make these. And then what I do is after I shape them, I just put them, I have them inside the zipper bag, and it's on a plate just to keep them kind of flat and separate. Then once they freeze solid, I can take the plate out and just leave them in the bag in the freezer. And then this is actually going to be 2 meals worth, so I can just take them out, put them on a baking sheet, and let them thaw and rise, and then bake them. And these will be good for hamburger buns or sandwich rolls. Alright, so next I'm going to make the, just like the stuffing cubes, and I'm just going to break up this bread. This loaf of bread didn't turn out so great, but it'll make good stuffing, and it made really good breadcrumbs for the Scotch eggs. So I just break them up into little bite-sized pieces, or a little bit smaller than bite-size, right onto this plate, and then I'll just put this plate in the oven and let it dry there for a few days. That way it's not on the counter and I don't have to worry about dust or anything getting in it. Alright, next up I'm going to make the anchovy stock. This is on Maangchi's website and on her channel, so I'll just link that down below, but it's just some dried anchovies, some Korean radish, some kelp, and some roots from scallions. So I'm just going to let this simmer for 25 to 30 minutes, and then strain it, and I'll just put it in the fridge for when I have my kimchi jjigae. So I think I have everything done. I just need to finish up the last few things for tonight's dinner, which is finishing the barbacoa and cutting up some raw veggies. So I cooked the barbacoa yesterday. You saw that, but I just put it straight in the refrigerator because I had to do something else. So it's still in the big chunks. So now that it's cool though, it'll be easier to handle, and I'm just going to shred it up. And I think this will make, I'll have to see what it looks like when it's shredded up, but hopefully it'll make 3 servings since I don't use that much meat in burrito bowl. There's so many other things that go in it, so you can kind of stretch the meat. But this is nice and shreddy and tender, so I'm just going to go ahead and work on this, breaking this up. Alright, so I have that all shredded up. I kind of portioned it out into 3 portions. And I'm going to go ahead and freeze 2, and then 1 we'll use now. So I'm going to put it in these bags. See if I can carefully spoon it in there without making a big mess. Alright, it's Thursday morning. I have my rice is sprouted, so I'll go ahead and cook that. We'll actually have this tomorrow night, but I'll just have it cooked in the fridge and then warm it up. I could also just put it in the fridge like this and cook it tomorrow, but I'm going to cook the beans, so I'll go ahead and cook the rice too. Here are my beans. You can see some have pretty long tails, like right there and there. But even the ones that don't necessarily have tails, if you look closely, there's swelling there, and you can see where it's about to burst out. So these are both ready to go, so I'm going to pressure cook these, and this I'll just simmer in a pot. Alright guys, that's it for this week's meal prep, food prep. I hope you enjoyed it. See you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye! Bye-bye.